Today, we're going to talk about how the Earth is a sphere. Yes, that's right. You heard me correct. And we're going to talk about my recent encounter with a flat earther, Flat Earth Dave. Stay tuned. Never fear, because the Greek is here. Welcome back, Greek Army. I'm the Greek, here with another video for you. Never fear, because this Greek is here. Today, I'm going to talk about my recent encounter with Flat Earth Dave. I asked him many questions, hard-hitting questions. Some he had answers to. Is that good enough? And some, he just had nothing, which is obvious, which is very obvious because Flat Earth ain't a thing. The Earth is a sphere. But never fear, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I release the newest, greatest, best content. Normally, I'm a conspiracy nut. I really am. But when it comes to Flat Earth, this is one conspiracy that I just can't get behind. They want you to think the Earth is like this, when we all have seen pictures from outer space that makes it look like this. And we are to believe the flat earthers and not the millions of scientists throughout history, not NASA, not the government, not history in general. We're supposed to believe some internet sleuths that have come up with a theory. Well, in this video, I will show you the questions I was asked and break down the answers and show you some stuff to prove the Earth is a sphere. The first question I asked Flat Earth Dave in our encounter was, do you believe that NASA and Flat Earth can coexist? Because if NASA is real, that means Flat Earth must not be. And most people say, why, Greek? Why is that the case? Because if NASA is real, that means every picture of the globe is real, taken by NASA. And how do you prove a flat Earth when you have pictures from outer space? Very hard. And here was Dave's response to the Greek.
Well, the story of NASA, sure, it doesn't exist because NASA has never gone to space. Nobody's gone to space because space doesn't exist, right? There is no space.
There is no space, according to Flat Earth Dave. What scientific proof does he have for this? I don't know. He just says there's no space. NASA doesn't exist. This is how flat earthers have to make it seem. Oh, it's easy. When something doesn't fit the narrative, let's just take away the narrative. No, that's not how it works. Okay? Give me scientific proof. Until then, don't even say your dumb things that NASA doesn't exist. It's all fake and all this stuff. But yet, they believe in stars. Space isn't real, but the stars are. And in this next set of questions, we're going to get to the stars. Stars pose a huge problem for Flat Earth. They want you to think that they have explanations, but their explanations are very, very, very poor. Look at this map of a flat Earth. The North Pole is in the center, and everything that goes away from it is south. That's how they classify north and south on their flat pizza Earth. Now, they want you to believe that everybody can see every star because the stars rotate. That's what Flat Earth Dave claims. So I asked him, given that the North Pole is in the center, how is it that people in different regions looking south see the same stars? And this was his response.
Yeah, you have to stop watching Professor Dave, who's really a failed musician, videos where he strawmans all of that stuff.
Oh, Dave, I'm a failed musician as well. What does that have to do with anything? But let's continue.
When there's only 1 hour of one day a year where it's possible to be in those 3 locations and look south, whatever direction that is, and possibly see the stars, because it's only 1 hour of the year where all 3 of those places are in some form of darkness. And people say, well, people in Santiago can look south and see the Southern Cross at the same time as the people in Australia. Well, you don't understand the flat Earth model or the Earth model at all, or the globe model, because when you if you're in Santiago, South America, looking south, and it's nighttime, it's daytime over here. So you can't see the stars at the same time. But those stars will rotate around 12 hours later, and this person looking south will see the same stars that have rotated around. The stars rotate around like this. They go around.
So the stars rotate, and then the people see what the other people see. So it's all just the stars rotate. But did you see on his map when he was doing his thing how he just left out that there was 2 land masses that were in the dark and their south is looking in different directions? Did you miss that? Now, here's a thing for you guys to take into account. If we look towards the south at night in the southern hemisphere, we will see the exact same stars regardless of where we are. This observation is impossible if Earth is flat. It can only be explained if Earth is a sphere. And you can see Jakarta, Sydney, Papeti, and Santiago all look south. South works on a globe. It works. It doesn't need extra explanations. All the stars now have to do these motions. No, it just works. And when it works, it works. And you can see the same formations in each location. Yes, they do have darkness at the same time. Just because you don't want it to be true doesn't mean it's not true. So then I went forward and I had more questions for Dave. Because, they look south. You can talk about your stuff, whatever. But the star rotations, in the northern hemisphere, they rotate counterclockwise at the pole. And in the southern hemisphere, they rotate clockwise. How do you explain that on a flat Earth? Because in an earlier example, he said that they rotate above, which would create one direction. There wouldn't be multiple directions. The stars would go clockwise on his direction according to his model. But let's listen to his answer.
But as far as the star rotation, and it's easier to do if we're in a room, but if I'm watching the stars are like, let's say I have the stars in my room, they're coming from over here on this side, and they're coming up and over and down. So that is clockwise for me. So all of these stars are coming. I'm looking at them rotating from my left shoulder to my right. So I'm in the north. I'm looking north, and the stars are coming from my left shoulder to my right shoulder. So all the stars are coming over. I turn around, and I'm going to look at the south. They're now coming from my right shoulder to my left shoulder. They're now going counterclockwise. They didn't change directions. I changed the way I'm looking.
They come up, over, and down. But in your model, they twist and rotate 12 hours. So if they come up, over, and down, now how does this make your earlier model work where you say people looking south can see the same stars because it's 12 hours later and, they just see the same things because these stars rotate. But now they come up, over, and down. Now, if you are correct with your up, over, and down, guess what? When you look and you twist, which he does say this in his next clip, when you twist your body, yes, the stars go in different directions. But in the northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere, it doesn't matter which way you look, they're going, it just works. You have no way of explaining it. So I think this one's easily debunkable, very debunkable. Now, flat earthers are going to say, Greek doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, let's keep going because there's more issues with the stars. Okay, many more issues with the stars. If flat Earth exists, why is it that constellations are only visible to certain hemispheres? For example, the Southern Cross in the south, you can't see that from the north. And Polaris in the north, you can see it, but you can't see it from the south. So how do you explain this on a flat Earth?
Right? The reason you can't see Polaris from the south is because it's too far away. It merges into the horizon and the atmosphere blocks it. It goes beyond the atmosphere.
So it's too far away. It goes beyond the atmosphere. I just have to laugh at that one. Do you know why? Because every star according to science, is too far away. And we have a thing called telescopes. So when your eye can't see it, why don't you have, you think people with telescopes can look at it? It makes no sense on your model. And do you know why you can't see the Southern Cross from the north? It's because you can't look through the globe. The globe is there. If it was flat, everybody on the plane would have the same view. Now, here's another lesson to be learned here. The Southern Cross, or crux, can be seen from the south of 26 north and is always visible south of 26 south. On a flat Earth, it can be visible from the outer parts of Earth at the same time, but not from the central areas, disproving the flat model. Its visibility is only consistent on a spherical Earth. Now, if you look at this map, number 1, it's never visible. 2 is rarely visible and only partially. 3 is visible some of the time. 4 is visible all the time, but sometimes partially hidden. And 5, which is the lower portion, fully visible. Now, they think Antarctica is on the outside. According to what we visibly see now, that means the whole outside of your flat Earth would see it, but the middle wouldn't. Doesn't make sense. When it doesn't make sense, it's not true. That's all that you have to put to it. Like, when you have data, you have stuff to back up a globe. Why do you consistently keep up with this flat Earth charade? I don't understand it. But, the thing I learned is 2 phenomena on a flat Earth cannot be true at the same time for many things. And when 2 phenomena can't be true that are happening currently, visibly in our world, then the model probably can't be true. So, next bit that we talked about are day and night and how that works on a flat Earth. When it comes to day and night on the flat Earth, it makes no sense. It's easily to explain on a globe. The globe rotates once every 24 hours. It's facing the sun half of the time, and half the time it's not. And the tilts are the seasons. Very easy to explain. But on a flat Earth, things are not so easy and need crazy explanations. So I asked, for lighting up a flat Earth with the sun, what makes the sun just stop at the halfway point? Because there are certain points where the sun's rays have to travel longer, which makes no sense. Like at the center of the Earth towards the North Pole, they don't travel as long as they do to the outside portion of the Earth. It's easily explained on a globe. You got the globe and the one face. So I asked Dave that, and here was his response.
Sun moves. Hold on. So we'll move it. It's right now. It's beginning of November, December. It's all the way out there. That's the most wrapping. And then January, February, March, April, May, June, July. It comes all the way in, and it wraps the other way because it's farther away from the dome, so it's not making that same thing. And when it's halfway, it's a straight line. The equinox, half light, half night, half day, half night.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you for that great explanation. You didn't answer my question on why the light travels further. The sun moves. It makes no sense. But what they'll do is they'll take a flashlight and put it above their flat Earth, and they'll be like, see, it makes sense. But they don't hold it anywhere near scale of where the sun's at. And to make this possible, much more would be lit up than they let on. So, my next question in the bunch was, there's a 24-hour day in Antarctica, which has been proven, which causes chaos in the flat Earth model. For the South, explain how this is not the case. So Dave, once again, tries to teach the Greek. 24-hour daylight. That is
no,
proven.
We don't know that. It's actually not proven, and you're wrong. There's 4 faked videos, and in the Antarctica section on the frequently asked questions page, we show you those videos and how exactly they're faked. And it's not us saying they're fake. We're showing you that the clouds repeat, that the shadows jump. There is no 24-hour sun. So Antarctica has these stations, and they show us these time lapse of the 24-hour sun. We're looking at the shadows. The shadow of the pole goes over here, and it jumps over there. And they cut out 10 hours. And every day, they cut out 10 hours. This is in December and January when there should be a 24-hour sun.
Oh, so once again, when you can't explain it, it's fake. But a simple Google search finds plenty of proof on this matter. But No, it doesn't make sense to a flat earther. But here's a video of that 24-hour day time-lapse video. So, as you can see, clearly there's video evidence, there's bases on Antarctica. I didn't think those existed. And I then went on to ask, because when you go day-night, one of the things is the lunar phases, how that works. And of course, they have to find a way to explain that. And here's Dave's explanation of the lunar phases.
So the sun goes around wherever the sun is. It's noon in Sydney, Australia right now, right? It's noon in Central Australia. It's noon in Western Australia. And it's early in the morning here in Johannesburg, and it's midnight here. The sun keeps track of the hours and the days. The sun will lap the moon once every 28, 29 days. So the moon keeps track of the weeks and the moons. There used to be 13 moons of 28 days. 13 times 28, 1 day reset, 365 days.
So this is how your lunar phases work?
This is how the lunar phases work. This is how it works on a globe.
That's how it works on a globe. I like hearing him say the word globe. And moons. Now, it seems like this is just one of his, see, it works. Here's what the problem I have with flat Earth is they come up with a theory, then they find evidence and they do things to try and fit their theory rather than doing tests and coming up with the theory based on the results of their tests. It's opposite from the scientific method, and it's just not easily explainable. Now, Antarctica is a huge deal when it comes to flat Earth because they believe it's on the outside of the pizza with the ice walls and nobody can visit. But there's this cup race that happens that circumnavigates Antarctica. And that's what I ask him about in this next bit. So let's see what he has to say about that. I told him to explain the Antarctica Cup yacht race. In this race, they circumnavigate Antarctica. If flat Earth exists, they would always be turning away from Antarctica instead of towards it. Explain this as well as if you know the race exists. And let's see Dave's response.
So as I said, you're going to scatter and ignore every time I'm shutting you down and switch to something else. We can go to that when I'm done here.
Well, but this is true. If this is true, then the Earth is a globe because it just
okay. So if I show you that it's not true, the Earth is flat.
How do you prove it's not true? What do you guys say? The race is made up.
I'm going to.
I have a picture of the route.
I'm going to show you how you're being deceived. You won't be able to see it, but maybe your friends will. All right. So I have to ask you a question here. This is from the space station.
Dave, I thought I was scattering. Did you just deflect and show me a picture on your screen? Did you want to go the I got you moment? Look at this picture. And then, yeah, it turns out that picture was one twisted. It wasn't even taken from space, which proves nothing. You can fake something on Earth doesn't mean that's not real, but that's a different argument because you didn't answer my question. You were going to prove the Greek wrong. You were going to end all debate on the globe, and yet you got nothing. But yet I told you I have the route, and here's the route, and it goes around Antarctica, as you can see on the screen right now. It continues to go around Antarctica. People have circumnavigated Antarctica. Explain that on your flat Earth. Or are they just turning away from Antarctica the whole time, going around your pizza? I'm still waiting on my answer. Don't worry, Dave. I'll keep waiting. But the biggest things we talk about next are refraction. Refraction is a problem for a flat earther because they like to say items you see far out in the distance should not be seen. But what they don't get is how refraction works and how it makes it possible. And they tend to not ever do refraction like calculations to see why it's possible. And then some days it is possible, some days it isn't. But I asked Flat Earth Dave, refraction is the reason why objects are visible at great distances on the globe, and many factors can change if they stay visible. Explain this and show me some examples. So here's what Flat Dave did.
See, this is 700 miles away. I probably showed you this last time, right? These mountains, the tops of these mountains should be over 40 miles. Remember that balloon shot I showed you of the flat Earth? That's only 20 miles up. 40 miles of curvature.
Because these mountain
40 miles of curvature
all the time.
But if they're visible one day, like
that's
when I'm looking across Long Island. Hold on a second.
You could see it due to refraction.
No, it's not.
Are correct, but you would be able to see it every day on a flat Earth.
That's not true. I live on Long Island Sound. Because I live on Long Island Sound, it's 7 miles across where I am, and some days I can't see Long Island.
Wait, Dave, some days you can't see Long Island. Refraction, if it was a flat Earth, you should be able to visibly see it, right? Because you wouldn't need to worry about refraction to see stuff that is not there. Now, you just proved my point. And here is a model to show how refraction works. You have a mirage that gets refracted up into the air. Your line of sight is higher. That refraction bends the light so that you can see it. Warmer air has a lower refractive index, and colder air has a denser, greater refractive index, which shows that there is differences in how much refraction given different atmospheric conditions. So when you say you can't see it one day, what does this prove? Refraction. Thank you, Dave. You proved the point. You can't see it some days because there's no refraction and the Earth's curvature blocks it. And then other days when there is refraction, you can see it. It's funny how they want to prove something, but then end up proving the globe exists, which is extra, extra, extra funny. Thank you, Dave. And then I went into GPS, global positioning systems, because, I just find it funny, And let's see Dave talking about global positioning systems. It works. Global positioning systems, globals in the word, works on a globe Earth. It's how everything pilots use to navigate
global
the Earth.
Positioning system, right? And that doesn't work in the Amazon, doesn't work in the Southern Oceans, doesn't work in many places where there's no towers. It only works in populated areas and where they have, the ability to track things. There's no global positioning.
Call it a global positioning system, though.
I call it a ground positioning system.
So he calls it a ground positioning system. That's fine. You can have a different name. I just wanted to see if he'd say global positioning system because it would make me laugh. Hearing a flat earther say global makes me laugh. But one thing that they fail to tell you is how all these things work. That cell phone in your hand, all these GPS systems we have, or you can call them ground positioning systems. The only reason they work is because of all the satellites we have. Earth has 4,550 satellites in orbit. That's as of 2021. You can see 139 in medium Earth orbit, 3790 in low Earth orbit. These are all orbiting the Earth, by the way. So satellites must be fake too. There's 56 highly elliptical and 56 geosynchronous orbit. How do they know this if the Earth doesn't orbit? How can they make all these satellites do this? And here's just a picture of all those satellites around the Earth. This is the reason why our technology exists and actually works. So, explain how our technology works, Dave. Can you? No. You just keep coming up with lies, and it's just funny. It's just funny. They have no way of explaining things. And, I went to the next question where if all else fails, I said, if I can't convince or put some thoughts into a flat earther's head, maybe, just maybe, proving the ISS exists and that we have pictures and film from up there. I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? The ISS exists. We have pictures of the Earth. Who cares about the rest of my arguments, right? Well, I go, ISS footage shows a globe. Explain how this doesn't prove a globe besides telling me the image is faked. And then I showed him a time lapse that's made up of 1,338 images, and it's all raw footage with metadata. And this was Dave's response. Seen people taking video. There's live video feeds from there. Yeah,
Okay,
there's
listen. You're
I
gonna have
find
to
that
talk
fake.
less. You're gonna have to talk less because everything you're bringing up, I can show you that it's full of shit.
I have to talk less. Good response. Way to be very nice to somebody. That's how you're going to disprove me? I have to talk less. Or maybe I'm talking too much truth. But go ahead. Disprove me.
Okay, that you're just talking through your rear end. Right. So you've seen pictures of the space station. How about this one? This is from the space station.
Oh, yeah, he proceeds to show me pictures from the space station and then goes on about a bit the next 30 minutes about how the space station's fake. Okay, what did you prove? You think it's fake. Everything you don't believe is fake. Greek, I can prove it. Okay, prove it. I want evidence. But here's another video for my people. The time lapse that I was talking about, and you can see the light source coming from, and you can see off the window, the glare. You can see it's not a fisheye lens, proving curvature. And do you know how you know it's not a fisheye lens? Because the straight lines are straight. But that must be fake. This is what happens to a flat earther. Oh, it doesn't fit my narrative, must be fake. This can't exist because it ruins my narrative, so it must be fake. There's things I didn't even get to in this video because I don't want to, I can go on and on and on and on and on. It's ridiculous. We didn't talk about tides. We didn't talk about lunar eclipses. We didn't talk about gravity, a big thing on this flat earth, right? We didn't talk about the Coriolis effect. It's a big word, I know, for them, and how tides rotate on the earth due to the spin. How does that work on your flat earth? But you can't even explain tides. And it's true. And in order for flat earth to be a thing, multiple conspiracies have to be wrong. So they need to discredit astronomy, geology, physics, NASA, the government, history. But we are to believe that the earth is flat because an internet sleuth with absolutely no science degree, no backing, no knowledge of what's going on say so. Occam's razor. Sometimes the most obvious answer is the correct one. And in this one, in the Greeks' mind and full knowledge of science and 2,500 years of science, the earth is a globe. Until next time, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I release the best content. I love you all and have fun on this globe earth. We know it's not a pizza earth like this.